And good day, everybody. My name is Philip Carter. Welcome to the IGAA Hope Network. Hope stands for Helping Others Pursue Their Endeavors. And we have been doing interviews all month long, introducing you to the IGAA Hope members. And I have a very, very special guest with us tonight. She's one of the finest gospel singers, anointed minister of music, former Sunday's Best contestant, singer, songwriter, motivational speaker, preacher, you name it. She is the full package. I want to introduce to some and just reintroduce to others. Please welcome Mama Sue Roseberry. Give her a big welcome, and please share this broadcast. Mama Sue, God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Well, it's my pleasure. I'm glad to be here.
Glad to have you. And this is really, really a pleasure for me to interview you. I'm not sure how many, I'm sure you've been interviewed a lot, but every time I get a chance to do an interview with somebody that I consider to be a pioneer, a trailblazer, it is a real fortunate thing. So welcome and thank you so much for being a part of the IGA Hope Network.
Oh, it's just the best thing ever. It's good.
So for those who may not know, tell us, who is Mama Sue?
Well, I think that I describe myself as a creative, just somebody who is impressed by God to do a whole lot of different things. I've always been curious about the world and its people, the people in the world. So I am a people watcher. I love to watch people go to the mall and watch how they walk, watch how they
I'm
interact.
the same way.
I love that. So I've been a creative since I've been a child. Love to try to do things a different way. Love to try to put a more excellent spin on things. And I'm really just what you see is what you get. And they call me Mama Sue for a reason, because I guess I'm the global mama. I'm a global mama, and I love nurturing people and love people. It's just good.
Well, you definitely are a pearl of wisdom, and I've already benefited from some of your wisdom. How did you start singing? Like, was it just from birth, or what age did you start singing?
You know, I've been singing since my earliest memory. And now that kind of gets blurred over the years. But my grandmother said that she used to stand me up on a table at church when I was maybe 3 or so. And I've been singing ever since. Most of my musical pursuits have been rooted in the church. And I've just been singing all my life.
Right. Any other professions besides singing?
Oh, yeah, I've done a lot of things. Went to college for performing arts, which is the drama side of me. And I also went for social work. And so I worked a number of years with Job Corps program for youth, at-risk youth. And I just, I love kids. So anything that has to do with children is all right with me. So I'm a writer. I've worked in the oil industry. I retired from the oil industry as a landman after 35 years. And now I'm doing the other side creatively all the time. But, most of us have dual things that we do that are in our arsenal, and that's okay. Right. When I was young, people used to try to paint you into a corner, because if you have lots of interests, they try to make you narrow it down to, well, you can't be jack of all trades, master. No, well, that's the trick of the enemy. Because if God gives you talents, then just like the parable in the Bible, he intends for all of them to be working, all of them to be positively impacting the world around you. So I just think you can have lots of interest. And as long as you got energy, then run on.
Now, for those of us in the East Coast who don't know what a landman is, please explain what that is.
A landman is a person that works for the oil industry that actually looks at the land that they are preparing to drill on.
Okay.
And even though back east you may not know what it's called, but they're a landmen too, because for any venture where they're getting ready to drill a well, they got to figure out who owns the title to the
Gotcha.
land, to the
Gotcha.
minerals, all of those things. So that's what I mean.
Wow. So, do you remember your first song or songs you sung in church?
Oh, I don't know, but I would guess that it was probably something emulating Mahalia Jackson, because she is my all-time favorite icon. I have
Oh,
always
wow.
loved her. In school, I wrote book reports about her.
Mm.
If I did a monologue or tried to do something, she was included. And so I've always really, really loved her drive for singing, her passion, and she just wanted to live the life that she sang about. That's what
Right.
impressed me so much.
Right. Now, you also are a choir director and a songwriter. When did you start getting into all of that, and who trained you to do those things?
My church was blessed to have a wonderful musician by the name of Shirley Butler. I don't
Okay.
know if Shirley will ever hear this broadcast, but she's still a dear friend. But Shirley got married and moved away when I was 10 years old.
Mm.
And our church did not have a musician. And so I prayed and asked the Lord to help me to be able to play for testimony service,
Come on
just so
now.
we have good testimony service. And you know what? God did just that.
Wow.
And I learned how to play on an old upright piano that was sitting on my mother's porch. And I just started playing. And I don't think that I'm the best musician, but I can hold on till the real musician get there.
Wow, I've heard several stories like that. I mean, I grew up playing the piano early, so but I've heard several stories of people's, hands being anointed, or they asked God and God gave them the gift to play. That's phenomenal. I
Yeah, he
mean,
did that.
yeah, I mean that's an early belief too. Once God does something like that, you know without a shadow of a doubt that
Yeah.
God exists after something like that.
Well, and then the songwriting and the choir directing, that just kind of comes all along with it, because in the African American church, many times we
Right.
wear many hats. So the
Mm-hmm.
piano player is sometimes sitting there playing and directing and singing and doing all of those things simultaneously, only because necessity is the mother of invention. And I don't
That's
even
correct.
know if we feel like we're capable of doing it all, but you just got to do what you got to do and get the program over for Jesus. So that's what I did. And the songwriting kind of came along early because I needed to be able to play something that I could master.
Mm.
So I couldn't play everything that was on the radio or on records, but I asked God to give me melodies that I could master. And
Wow.
so he did. And I just started playing what I would hear, and that's kind of how that evolved.
Wow. So let's fast forward a little bit, going into your career. When did you do your first project?
Oh, goodness. The first project was probably 2000 and maybe
Mm-hmm.
2004. I have sung all my life. I did a recording on Gospel Pearl for the Church of God in Christ back in the day when we used to do A Song is Born. And
Mm.
I had the first song that I ever had recorded was called I Want to Stand. And Dr. Mattie Moss Clark, of course, was over the choir at that time, the national choir. And we had A Song is Born, and that song was selected to be on one of the recordings. And then the
Wow.
next project that I had was actually my own in 2004. Didn't know what I was doing, but we worked it out and made it through. Did songs that I had written and called in favors and had friends to help.
Wow.
And that's kind of how that project went.
So how many projects do you have in total?
I have two CDs. One is called Words Just Cannot Explain. And the title song from that CD was actually recorded by the Men of Promise with the Gospel Music Workshop of America on the Tampa experience. And it's been such a blessing. I've had people inbox me with choirs from Spain singing the song or choirs from Japan. That's the biggest blessing for a songwriter.
Yes.
Other people sing the melodies that God has given you to.
What's the name of the song again?
Words Just Cannot Explain.
I'm gonna go back and look it up.
It's on the Tampa experience.
Okay,
the Men of Promise sang it.
Yeah, I was in Tampa. I remember going to Tampa that year. I have so much to ask you, so I'm going to kind of not try to jump around so much, but try to do things in sequence in my head. Hopefully, what was it like to work with Dr. Mattie Moss Clark?
It was an awesome experience because she would always merge ministry with the music. Even when we were sitting there, it was clear and evident to me the whole time that the Levites needed to be the first partakers of the fruit. And we always felt the presence of the Lord in our rehearsals. What a sad thing it would be for you to be a minister of music and you don't feel God in your rehearsal. You don't feel him anywhere around, but then you try to go out before the people and usher them into the presence of the Lord. So I was always cognizant of that. She was always teaching about how to handle this ark of the covenant, this wonderful gift of praise and sing. They were just right there. I remember sometimes Karen at a very young age with twists in her hair, being asleep almost in the choir stand and somebody not getting the beat correct. And all of those girls can play multiple instruments. And she would call Karen down to play the drums. Karen, come down here and play this beat because somebody wasn't getting it right. And the wonderful thing that I really remember was how teachable we all were. People didn't swell up and get mad and go home and take all their marbles and, not want to be corrected. And so that was clearly evident throughout.
So do you find that to be a shift from then to now in terms of people willing to want to be corrected and to be teachable pre-pandemic before the choirs officially ended?
Look at this face. It is. It's hard sometimes to get people to quit believing their own press and allow someone else to help mold something that they see in them.
Well, I asked you the question because really, it depends on who you ask. Some people have different opinions because they had different experiences growing up. Because you sat with a Dr. Mattie Moss Clark, you were under a true authority, and and you had to have some thick skin, especially if you needed to learn. And you had to sit there and you had to learn it. There was no other way. There was no way out of this. You had to walk.
Oh, yes. I got some fond memories. And I remember Dr. Betty Nelson being one of the lead vocalists at that time. Timothy Wright, another good friend of mine coming along at that time. Mr. Clee, James Moore. All of these people were right there singing. And it was nothing to toss a mic and come along. Right. But at that time, I was not singing lead. I was just I was holding down the soprano nation. I was in
Come on now.
Section, holding it down, but I was exposed.
Wow. So now let's just go ahead and matriculate on up to Sunday Best. What made you want to audition for Sunday Best?
I say that I was having a midlife crisis.
Okay.
I was 55 and someone just sent me an email one day and said, you should audition for Sunday Best. I had heard about it because there had been 3 seasons before I participated, but I had never seen, much of what it was about or anything like that, but something kind of resonated inside. And I got a friend of mine to drive because we had a program at the church and we drove all the way from Midland to Atlanta to be able to audition for Sunday.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
That's some friend too.
my boy, like no other. Like,
And so you're in the process of doing Sunday Best. Did you think you'd make it as far as you did?
I didn't know what to expect because all of that was new to me. I was familiar with performance because I've done stage performance, but
Mm-hmm.
Sunday Best was another kind of animal, and there were so many gifted and talented people all around. You could just hear people sing the paint off the wall, and so
Mm-hmm.
taste is all in your mouth. What you like, what appeals to you,
Right.
and they get the people up there like a firing squad, 30 at a pop, to kind of let them go through what they were going to do, and within a few minutes, a few seconds, they could tell you thank you or no thank you, number whatever, please stay, and go on through another process to be added to the show. So I was just feeling completely honored to have been selected to even be on there because it was such a big platform to be able to share, your love for the Lord on that platform was amazing.
Wow. Wow. So moving on up past that now, you released the album post Sunday's Best, right?
Yeah, I had my original project that I had done, my first one with Words
Mm-hmm.
Cannot Explain. So I was able to use that as I traveled. And that's important for independent artists to always have some kind of merchandise.
Mm.
It's so important because everybody is followed by somebody. Somebody's looking at you wanting to do what you do or hear what you have to offer. And when you get there, if you don't have anything, then it's difficult for them to be able to support you maybe in the way that they would like to. So I
Right.
had that project, and as I was beginning to have open doors because of Sunday Best, I was able to um, have that project. I also had a storytelling CD because I'm a storyteller.
Mm.
I do that professionally, and I had a storytelling CD, and some of the people that knew me as a singer didn't know I did storytelling, but because I had the merchandise there, they would purchase that too, and that was a blessing.
Wow. Wow. So what are you up to now? What is really burning on you to do?
Dun, 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 dun. Well, now I am working on a children's book.
Mm-hmm.
The concept for the book actually came to me back in 2000, but sometimes there's an incubation period where you just got to wait until the moon is in the seventh house and Jupiter aligns with Mars and all that, everything is right so you can do it. So I'm getting ready to publish this children's book, Miss Annie from Way Down South. It's a singing story that will also have an audio component. There'll be a
Wow.
coloring book and lots of stuff going on about Miss Annie. So that's coming up probably um, the last quarter of the year, maybe around the first part of November. Y'all can look for that.
We'll definitely be looking for that as well. So, what made you decide to come on board and join the IGAA Hope Network?
I was so excited about IGAA the first year that I attended. I went last year. Thank God, I had made up my mind that I was going to do a East Coast tour. I wanted to go to
Mm.
New York and see some plays. I wanted to go to Virginia. I wanted to go to uh, lots of places. And so I did. And part of that included a jaunt to the IGAA conference. I had heard about it. I had seen you up in the GWA, had never really interacted with you very much, but I knew Earl from GWA. And I tell you, my head was just almost like floating dislodged from my body with all of the information that was provided available to me and accessibility. Now,
Mm.
that's a good word that we need to just always keep accessibility to the people who know and who can help you to take what you're doing to the next level. So I was so blessed. I wrote until I got cramps in my hand, and then I got handouts, and I met so many wonderful people, and they poured into me some ideas and information that I had never even considered. And it really helped me to grow exponentially. So I was determined that I was going to be a repeater. I had already reserved my room, paid for my registration, and was getting ready to purchase my ticket when Corona came to America and shut everything down. But thanks be to God
Praise
that
the
He
Lord.
is so majestic and awesome. He provided a means of escape, and y'all
Mm-hmm.
got away and provided it virtually so that everybody could be able to get the information. And again, this year, my head, but I'm telling you, I have learned so much. And then the networking aspect is just real big for me to be able to collaborate with other people because iron sharpens iron.
That's correct.
And you may be a big fish in your little pond, but
Mm-hmm.
if they bring you out the pond, you ain't nothing but a little mackerel. You got to work with other people who know and be exposed to many gifts, and it's such a blessing. That's what I love.
Well, it's a blessing that you are a part of this this network, and it's growing, and from it just looks like it's just going to be something really special that we're going to be able to fulfill a kingdom purpose here on earth with the individuals who have become a part of this. Um, Before we go to a final word, is there anything that I've missed that you would like to mention?
Well, we've talked about the storytelling. We've
Uh-huh.
talked about the singing. I also have a one-woman show that's called SUE for Simply Unique Expressions. It's a wonderful 90-minute performance where I go
Wow.
from everything that has inspired me in my life up until present time. So it's an easily packaged, will travel show. So I'm hopeful that once we get past all of the drama that's going on with this pandemic, that there will be churches, retreats, women's groups that will invite me to come in and share that because it's an easy thing to stage and share, and I love to do that.
Now, wow, you are. You tell you something. You doing something? Got a whole one woman show.
Yeah.
Gracious, that is phenomenal. I don't think I've ever interviewed an artist that tell me they have a one person. That is phenomenal. I just think that that's just phenomenal. You're definitely using all of your gifts. Before we get to the final word, let me just let's just get to know you a little bit more. Favorite color?
Green.
Green.
Any color green.
Favorite food?
Roast.
Roast. Okay, okay. Is
Roast.
is
With
is
gravy.
roast with gravy?
Yes, Lord.
Favorite TV show?
Ooh. My favorite TV show at the present time is probably Chopped.
Okay. So I assume you do a lot of cooking.
I do. And I like Chopped and any kind of Food Network show. I like DIY shows and the sports channels.
So what's your favorite sport?
Basketball.
Favorite basketball team?
It's the Warriors, and no haters out there because I know they didn't make it to the bubble, but we'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back.
Oh my goodness. Is there one thing on your bucket list you have yet to do besides anything you've mentioned?
I would love to make it to the motherland. I've never been to Africa.
Mm,
I have never performed abroad, and I
mm.
would love to do that, to be able to share with people in another landscape than America. I would love to do that, but that's about it.
Well, I'm believing God that's going to happen. You know.
I hope
Oh
so.
yeah. Oh no, it's going to happen. I mean, I can see that happening. So this is the IGAA Hope Network, and we always want to leave a word of hope to those who are watching and to those who will be watching in the future. Can you offer us a word of hope?
My word of hope would be for everyone to realize that this won't always be this way.
That's true.
And because it won't, you've got to learn how to maximize every moment that you've been given and ride it till the wheels fall off. I am so encouraged just to try something new.
Mm.
Don't be afraid. Don't worry about the fact that you don't know how to do it so well. Trust God and trust yourself to begin doing something brand new. Hitch your wagon to somebody that's already got it going. For all of the independent artists out there, this pandemic has really leveled the playing field for many of us, and you have an opportunity to pursue excellence in your gift. If there's something that you don't know how to do, let me tell you genuinely, become a part of this IGAA Hope Network because there are people there who are willing to share and they will help you to pursue excellence and to make whatever you're doing bigger and better.
Amen. Thank you so much. People can find your projects everywhere, right?
Yeah, you can follow
That's
me
right.
on my website, www.sueroseberry.com. I'm on Facebook, and every first and third Mondays, I have Moments with Mama Sue interviewing different
Absolutely.
people, just like I'm being interviewed today. Phil will be on there one day, and all kinds of people. And you can follow me on Instagram and my YouTube channel. Love to get more subscribers over there, so just go to Sue Roseberry and hit me up.
Go to Sue Roseberry and subscribe tonight, people. Um, I forgot to ask you about your family.
Oh, I have a great family. I have a fantastic family. I had two daughters, and they have blessed me with eight grandchildren.
Wonderful.
Seven boys and a little girl was the last one to grace the scene in January this year. So we are spoiling her rotten. And rotten is okay as long as it don't stink.
Come on now.
We are spoiled
That's
rotten
wisdom.
as long as it don't stink. So I'm blessed, my family as well, and I thank God for the circle of family that we create within communities like the IGAA network and Texas Mass Choir, all of those things. Those are big in my life, the music and all of that. So I thank God for the extended family.
Amen. And we thank God for you. Join us, ladies and gentlemen. Mama Sue Roseberry, as I'm in it, like I begin it. God bless you, and hang on. Good night, everybody.
God bless.